Hey guys, good afternoon. Welcome to yet another series of the Art Talk. And as all of you know, the Art Talk series is organized by the Sneha Arts. And Sneha Arts is one of the leading art galleries in South India. And Dr. Snehalata Prasad is the director and the art collector. Every year she does a lot of events related to art. So today we have P. Gnana, artist P. Gnana, who is joining us from Singapore. And he is one passionate mechanical engineer who's become an artist, and he's well known for his paintings. He's also a sculptor. He's owner of a gallery out there in Singapore, and he's also a teacher. So apart from living his own passion of artist and creating his own creativity, he also believes that he should also take this forward and teach the art, so that the next generation is ready with it. So thanks a lot, Mr. Gnana, for taking time and joining us. So how did this passion start? How did this mechanical engineer, passionate person, get into being an artist?
Vanakkam, Mr. Ravi. Before that, I am pleased and honored to be in this session today, and thank to Sneha ji. Coming back to your question, art is always my passion. It's more than my passion actually. So it was my childhood, hobby which I started actually. Then slowly, I gradually built in schools and college wherever whenever I do my whichever subject I do, art was there always, and it started from there like that. No, slowly I picked up.
Okay. So I really like the way you started with your mother tongue language, though you're in Singapore. So what made you do that?
It always there, right? It's something very what you call it's inside always. Even we go any overseas, still I was working with the subject. If you see, my subject is cow. Cow is always my subject which I used to paint or sculpt actually. All the memories, whichever I missed in my life when I moved to overseas actually. So it was there subconsciously, it comes very naturally. That's what I don't know, it's very natural for me. I don't like to force something, which let it happen as nature. When we start, it started like that when I come. It's a very casual thing, yes.
So how come from Tamil Nadu to Singapore? Why did you decide to move from Tamil Nadu to Singapore?
Yeah, actually, I was working as a quality engineer in Chennai for a private limited company, where we used to do a lot of precision instrument. Using precision instrument, I used to check the L&T shaft and sugar mills, power plantations, and impellers. Those type of works I used to use as a quality engineer. My manager used to advise me always. This is you are very young. What you're doing here? You have to be explore more. And whenever you have lunch break, he used to always motivate me, talking about my career, and he used to express a lot of things to share his ideas, and he motivate me. Why don't you go overseas? These are things you have to come at last and do this type of job. Now you have time, energy, or young, you go and explore. So that always is in my mind actually, and that's where I was trying to get a job. I applied and I got a job in a Shell company in Singapore, and where I was the same quality engineer. I used to be there for the Shell manufacturing Bukam in Singapore actually, and in between we have a break after a measurement as the quality engineer. After 100, it's a drum actually, the manufacturing drum company, where we have to check the quality control, everything is fine, everything. After that we have a break every 1 hour. So even that 1 hour break, I used to do my sketches. So I warm up always doing sketch, creating artworks and always like that. And after sometimes I used to even weekend also, in Sunday I don't go for any movies or go with friends, anywhere else. I used to go to visit museum, galleries, and also library, sit there and explore and read more about art. That is always there. Even though I was working, but weekend also I don't. I fully concentrate more on art actually. And one of the gallery in Singapore called London Fine Arts in Tudor Court in Orchard area. So he started my solo exhibition first, and he's the one who encouraged me to go on. Though I was in a self-taught that time while I was doing my solo in Singapore, then he's the one who asked me to go and see the LaSalle College of Arts, where I can get formal training, and that's where I went to LaSalle College of Arts and did my painting as a major.
Super. So how do you choose the material? You're a sculptor. I've seen a couple of your arts where you've made life-size cows. So how do you choose the material for this?
Actually, I hunt materials, right? When I go and hunt for materials, I have certain ideas that time when I was choosing the materials. Maybe that time I would have been have an idea for this, for example, a Hero Honda tank or a bumper or two-wheeler, no, like bumpers or car parts or whatever. I just choose accordingly that moment. Maybe I have a certain idea. Okay, this part is going for the head, or this is going for the body, and like that. When I bring it to studio, when I'm going to start again the process in the studio, right? The entire program, the process will be changed. The material which I choose for certain place will be replaced for certain things. So it is not fixed actually. The idea is not fixed. When I decided something and again come back to studio, the idea changes there. For me, like no, I don't do any preliminary sketch or a pre-plan actually when I start my works. So I'll let go. So I just want to, not to be what you call like a restrict with certain ideas. No, I just want to be, for example, in same thing what you said, like that in painting also the same situation only. I sit in front of the canvas, plain canvas. I wait for right moment, no pre-planned sketch. I directly want to pass the energy to the canvas like that. Even the mistakes or sketches I overpaint there itself. I don't like to transfer my energy from sketchbook to again to the painting like that. Same way, but just now you asked about the sculpture of the same things. So I decide something when come back to studio, then studio process, entire process changes there.
Yeah, I was going through your description and introduction which your wife has narrated, very beautifully written. And out of the entire, I mean, exhibitions, the art shows which you do, one of the things which was very touching was your childhood memories, where you were helping your mom milking the cow, finding the lost cow, during monsoon.
Yes.
So I don't know the reason. I've never done this in the childhood. I regret that I missed this particular moment. So why do cows get lost during monsoon? And also, finding grass for it. I think these are some of the moments which you have. I mean, that those were beautifully described in this particular the entire description. So can you talk about that part?
Yeah, actually, I love my mother very much, right? Usually, everybody like the motherhood, that relationship is very bonding and strong, very strong actually. Same way like that, no, when my mother has like feed cow, we used to have cow at my hometown where I was born in Neyveli,
Hmm.
South India. I grown up there, and we used to have cow at my home, and I used to watch daily. My mother used to bring to feed the cow, and after that sometimes in the rainy time then we get to tie inside the shed. Sometimes we bring it out, those times daily, like even though I was very young, I used to watch all those things. And somehow that like when my mother is doing all the things, I'm very attached to her, and that also bring very close to the subject, the cow actually, because of my mother is I'm very close to my mother, and mother is close to the cow, and again I'm very close to cow, again following her, whatever she's doing I used to follow her. And I'm very very close to animal. And in fact in childhood time also I used to follow her in the veterinary doctor where you should go, because sometimes it's the excuse also, like to cut the school, just
Hmm.
go with her and not to go to school, all the things. So those type of things, I'm very close to that subject actually, which I'm doing now, cow actually, and also we worship cow. Cow is as a festival, Pongal festival in South India, where we celebrate. And in January we have August 15th or 16th, and 3 4 days we have that
Pongal.
worship cow, and we decorate cow, and we thank for the harvest festival, all those things. And we wait for that every year, to decorate the cow. At that time itself I used to paint the horn, and have some colors and put like garland with the colorful garlands, and music, and run together. So with lot of childhood memories, very very fresh. You have been bringing back me to another 40 years back now,
Yeah,
closer to that.
because some of these things like milking the cow, some of the kids now, new generations, I've got exposed to it after like 20s. Anybody who's got this experience of milking the cow, seeing a cow giving birth to a baby, they are just blessed. I mean, I think with the urban life, we are slowly forgetting about some of these experiences.
Correct. Yeah.
So.
And that's what I want to bring back, those memories in my painting also. That's one of the reason also. And I was painting more on relationship, basically more on human beings. But all of a sudden, one day, cow appears in my paintings. I was very, no, I don't know why. I didn't force myself to, bring my memories there. But somehow, subconsciously, it was appearing in my paintings. And I couldn't realize why, actually. That's where my wife, Vidya Gaurisan Nair, she is a curator. So, and she's the one who also bring back these memories to me and recognize to me to think that, maybe your childhood is memories coming back in your paintings. That's what, she wrote very after, she met my mom and she interviewed her, and that's where the book has been created. And after the interview, my mother was giving all this, like how I was very close to cow and how affectionate with a cow, all those things, and she was explaining to her. And that's the reason, also one of the reason, the affectionate was there.
So what were the feedback from your mother when she has seen you being around her while she was helping her, but what was the feeling after she saw you replicating this entire experience in canvas? What did she say?
She was very happy, actually. No, like because earlier days, right, as a parents, they like to be as an artist, to be me as an artist. That was there, actually. But somehow, when I was slowly showing my process and the progress in my life, like artists can be also like success in their life, not to be, always, because in India, right, all the parents, they like to be the children to be a doctor or engineer or other professional field, not be not like an artist, because those days artists has been shown in a way that they're struggling artists only, right?
Yes.
So that type of that was there, actually, in my in fact, my father's and mother was felt when I called them and said that I'm going to take as my professional again. I'm going for a college to study in art. They didn't like it initially, but slowly, but I was there to show them, like artists is in a different angle, actually. Though, to be very frank, if I'm in India as an artist, still I would have been not recognized like how I've been recognized in Singapore, because Singapore is a very not that big as right, like India. So competition wise also it is not that much, actually. But though Indian community is very less, small here, and I was doing a major in painting. After that, I started my gallery. So easy for me to recognize, also to reach. Even Singapore Art Museum collected my collection, and ex-president S.R. Nathan also having in my painting in Istana house. So those type of link has been got. If because I am in Singapore, that's one of the reason I was blessed to be here, and no, it reach out. That's way I can say that I won't say as a successful artist. I can say as an artist that I have been known very well in Lion City. And also after seeing that, my parents also felt that what he is doing something not like what we thought, but he moved in different direction, but in a good way, and they accepted that, and they were happy. And my mother was very happy because I was doing the same subject of the cow, which was in which I was very close to her, and with the animal, with the cow, all those things was again. She was bringing her also her memories, like my child, when I was child, how I was there. Now I'm connected with the same subject. I'm living with that and painting with that. Those type of things is also. She was very happy to know that.
So how do you describe, being recognized as an artist? How do you describe a great artist and the art which they make?
Actually, I don't say like to be a great artist, because when you want to be a great artist, you are been fixed yourself. So your style has been fixed. The viewers has been already like expecting something what like great artists you already done. So you will be in the same circle, actually, so you won't be moving out. So probably I like to be an artist. So the reason why is, if I'm an artist, I like to go for like something like new always, to experiment and explore new things always. If you are fixed already as a great artist, right? So you will be already, your style will be, the collectors or the viewers will be expecting the same style, because you got the name, you got the success, you will be selling. like a few thousands every month because you are an artist, you're recognized as a great artist. But when I want to come out from that zone, comfort zone, I want to go beyond, like not to be fixed with a certain style. Also, I want to experiment a lot, and I want to go to the territory where I didn't go before. That means not the place where I want to be challenge myself also, to not to be comfortable always, to like, okay, I do canvas, I do the same subject, okay, every series of the same subject I want to continue, because though I am selling, I don't want to be continue the same series. So that's one of the reason I want to be an artist, not to be a great artist also.
So, what style you follow, and when was the U-turn for you to get into sculpturing, or getting into doing a life-size cow? When did you decide all this?
Actually, my turning point was when I was in Singapore. Because after my did my graduation in LaSalle College of Arts and major in painting, because sculpture is not my was my elective subject, not as a major actually. So my lecturer was giving a challenging to me that always I was doing a semi-figurative in my paintings based on relationship theme, to express my feelings, or like using more colors, all the things. But my lecturer was abstract painter, who was my head of the department, Mr. Ianu. So he was challenging me, why don't you remove your figures, and whatever you want to express, try to express without figures. How do you do? Go and read about this particular artists like Andre Masson, Jackson Pollock, and Poet Mandarin. Those abstract artist masters he gave as a reference, asked me to go and read about him. Then it was challenging for me also, how to express our feeling without like showing the figures, like relationship, mother and child, or whatever, husband, wife, or lovers, whatever concept is there. I used to do a semi-figurative, not realistic, but semi-figurative, to show the expression, feeling. But how to show those same expression without figures, that was challenging for me. And I read about those masters who all he gave as a reference. And that's where like slowly I was trying to minimalize to my figures in my paintings, and try to use more textures and tones and colors. And the texture is very the background, the texture is a very important. Most of the artists doesn't give more importance to the background, especially for the textures. Right. So textures has something very special and spiritual things. I feel as an artist, for me especially, like more than the subject, the background, the texture is important, rather than the subject what I'm going to create. Because I sometimes I give very more important to the background than the subject also. In a way that that's where I try to express my feeling and texture, and eventually I found something which collectors or viewers are more they can feel that expressions and feelings in the background and the textures when I remove my figures. That's what I moved from semi-figurative to the abstract. So abstract is again is very challenging, and also it's not that easy. Like when I start the painting, also in the studio, when I go to studio, I don't pre-plan when I start my artworks. I just wait for the right moment and start. Sometimes I follow the dripping. I'll just go with the dripping and I'll start. I need a good start. When I got that good start, I just follow that, what's happening in that moment. So I don't control myself. Sometimes I go with the dripping. Sometimes I stop there. Sometimes I control. What you call that? I connect with the painting myself. To and fro things, like in there, not there, visible, not visible. Sometimes I leave the visible things. Sometimes I overpaint the invisible things. I bring the invisible things, and sometimes I hide the window. Those type of things. There, not there, keep it, not keep it. Keeping like that of illusion things, and not to be conclude with because when you decided to what you want to do, right? I won't be enjoying actually. So I don't want to have that what you call the end result. I like to go with that moment, the process. So that gives a lot of things, like accident of pouring and ink drippings and changing of colors, and that type of unexpected things. I'm more into that. So in fact, I'm searching something in that painting, which I like it more, rather than I have something like, okay, this is the one I'm going to paint. I don't want to fix like that as a in my paintings to do that the end product I don't worry about the end product. Whatever it happen, let it happen. No? I'm not worried about how perfect or how good the paint is going to be come out. That is different. That I leave it to viewers to decide whether they're liking or not, or how they're going to react to the end product. Is not that is not my thing which I'm more into it. I'm out of. I just want to be out of that boundary, right? To do more experimental things and do a lot of things and accident things like dripping and pouring techniques and creating the textures and removing the texture and layer by layer adding the textures. So all those things is more I'm more interested in it, and I'm in search of those path actually in that journey. Rather than have something photograph and tell that no, this is the one I'm going to paint and I want to go and complete this painting. So I'm out of that actually, to be very frank.
Got you. So behind every man's success, there are women involved. So who is the person who is behind your success?
That goes without saying. It's my wife, Vidya Gaurisan, actually. So I met her in Singapore, and to be very honest, and she's the one who fine-tuned also the turning point when I come out after my lecture, as I have to say, Vidya, because we both started this gallery called Jnani Arts Private Limited. And all my paintings, she's the one who, in fact, give titles and write about my. In fact, she knows. To be very honest, better than me, she knows better actually in my creations. What I'm creating. Sometimes I don't know how to express what I create also, which I don't like also. As an artist, I don't like to give more explanation of my artworks to the viewers. Let viewers to allow the viewers to engage and be in part of my painting. But as a curator, as a professional, she writes more about my artworks and and give a lot of what you call impact and value to bring up my paintings. And the turning point is again with my wife.
Superb. So did you have a career which was like very smooth, or did you have struggles in between?
Of course, every artist has that up and downs. That definitely artists actually being in a human being itself is tough, and being a human being as an artist again it's an adding some more things. It's not that easy, but I have to say I have been blessed actually to be an artist and be as a again like known artist actually to be a real artist. So successful artist, I don't want to say that word successful artist because I don't want to be, I used to be a successful artist, but I don't want to be now as a successful artist. The reason is I want to come out from the zone which I created actually, to be, to reach and find out and explore a lot of things. So that's the reason I'm moving out and not to repeat or do the same subject what I'm doing actually. So yeah, that's like as I said, like it's it really I'm blessed to be as an artist actually, though there was an ups and down, but we managed very well, and we both are in the same field, and additionally we run a gallery as a full-time artist. If I'm only as an artist, it will be really tough because artists actually you have to be, if you have to be a successful artist, you have to be successful artist again, as I said, right? You have to ready to sell, and you have to be you can't come, you have to be compromised actually, because what the collectors and viewers are expecting we have to do, and we have to focus on the selling part. When you focus on the selling point, lot of things you have to compromise. So as I said, right, the same subject, whatever works, red color painting is sell, then you have to create red, because commercially you want to be successful, you have a family, you have things to buy, art materials, lot of things there to be, as an artist, like you have to be make sure everything goes smooth. So when we thinking about money matter, right? Money, we need money to do all these things. Then the subject we are compromising there. The compromise means we know, especially me as a gallery owner, I know what is the collector's expectation when they come to the gallery, right? When they visit and what they like, what they're expecting, all those things. When I'm directly, that's the reason I told I was blessed, because I'm myself an artist and gallerist. So the gallerist helpful. It was very much helpful for me for my artist career, because when the collector come and visit the gallery, right, I can visually see what is there, what the eyes, where the eyes going on, which painting they're looking at, why they're buying that painting, and what's the reason. All those things. So I'm very close, and I'm directly connected with the collectors and get all this information, which I'm trying to implement all those ideas in my paintings. Even when I go art fairs, I know which country, which art fair the works can sell, what type of works can sell. I can create artworks like that, and I have to do sometimes because right, paying for the art fairs and travelings and come back, we have to pay for the rental and family or things. But I'm very comfortable that I know which type of colors and especially which country, which colors and which type of size can go. So we have to sometimes we are in that comfort zone to create artworks. So when we don't have this commitment, right, then the challenging is there. I want to be in that challenge now. That's the reason I want to bring out. I don't want to be. Yes, I am a successful artist, but I am no more. I don't want to be as a successful. I want to be an artist now. To come out from this comfort zone, create what I like. As I said, like that process, it happened then and there. Don't plan something which buyers can. What is a buyer's interest and create something like that. Come out from that and be an artist and enjoy.
Superb. Thank you. We have some compliments rolling in. There are a lot of audience who are watching this particular show. There are some compliments in Tamil, so unfortunately, I don't know to read Tamil, but I guess these are not questions, but we do have some questions coming up. But before we move on to the question, I want to show the viewers of a couple of artworks which Mr. Gnana has made, so that you'll have an idea. So this is a short movie of 1 minute which covers almost everything which he has accomplished, which he has created in this particular world. So, few seconds, guys. Okay, welcome back, friends. So, very nice journey. I mean, some of them have like taken us to different directions, and we ended with the horse series. And before we talk about some of these series, you have a lot of compliments coming in from the viewers. A lot of them are saying hi, sir, and there is also a compliment from Mr. Prem Singh. He's saying, "Good to see an artist who is humble and the same time very articulative." And we also have one question from Mr. Prem Singh. When do you think a painting is complete?
Thank you, Mr. Prem Singh, for your wishes. It's a very tough question, difficult question to ask. When you think your painting is finished, actually, to be, like as I said, right? So my paintings, if you're, I don't complete like that. Even though I sign my paintings, I'll come back after 2 years or 3 years, and I'll do something which will, because as I said, right, my paintings and myself have that dialogue. Lot of dialogue is there. So as I said, I didn't have any pre-plan and pre-sketch. When the process started, I go with the process and the flow. maybe at the moment I would have thought that no, this is the where I want to stop it and sign it. After 1 year or 2 years, come back and I see that paintings. It invite me again. We have that dialogue where I left right, where I stopped there, and it's coming back to me again, and we have some interaction with with again, to go further to the next level or next journey. The journey continues also. So most of the time, even my friends, artists like Mr. Viswam and Mr. Subra and other artists, all we used to be in the camp, in Delhi, and Noida actually with Akshay, my friend, usually organize a camp. So there they used to make they used to tell Jnana, you always painting is incomplete. When you are going to complete like that? Yeah, for me, I want to not to be complete actually. I want to have that. Let it go with that. Whenever I feel like it's inviting me, and I joined again with that flow and go with the flow actually. To go with from there where I stopped, again I go for the next flow. So that's the reason. Even that Zoom section, somebody made fun also, right? How about even the collectors buy and went, then how you're going to do if you see in a collector's place one day you go there?
Good
I
question.
said, yeah, I will still, if it allows me, I'll do something to complete it. Incomplete can be complete there also. For me, like painting is not completed actually, to be very frank. So still I'll like to join with whenever it invite me, so I'll just go with the flow.
Yeah,
Sorry, it's my own thoughts and feelings actually. Maybe Mr. Prem Singh, whether I say is accepting or not, but just want to share.
yeah. But whoever asked that question is a very, very a nice way of asking that question. What if the painting is sold? How would you manage that? The
Yes,
next question from the same Mr. Prem Singh. How are you balancing between painting and marketing? Because both are specialities of its own, different fields altogether.
yeah, it's really tough actually, which I don't like it to do both together because we won't be, give that the impact as an artist what you want to do. Sometimes an artist himself will be the marketing person for his or her own artworks. Like I like Anish Kapoor. He doesn't need any curator. He himself a curator for his own sculpture, no, the sculpture which I admire him actually. So some they have the talent and ability to to market themselves for their own artworks as an to artists themselves to promote. For me, again, I was having a gallery which is take part. It took that. I didn't what you call like separately. I didn't have any other. One disadvantage is there and disadvantage also there to have a gallery because if you have a gallery you yourself only can do promote, no other galleries will ready to promote because you already have a competitor, no, you have a gallery yourself. So I am in part of my own gallery. I can't go and approach any other gallery in Singapore to promote myself. Why should they do? Because I'm in I'm myself in a gallery and they're going to promote again. They're going to come back to me. The collectors are going to know me where I am. Then they're going to reach me and get the artworks because it's not fair for other gallery to do. But no choice. I have to promote myself. I have to do marketing and use social media and also like magazines and because we build enough clientele. That's why we used to go for the art fairs also, where we get new clientele over than art fairs and especially international art fairs. We'll get a lot of new clients apart from our own regular clients which we have already in Singapore. So we have to we have to reach out to those countries and art fairs and exhibitions, take part, and we have to promote ourselves. No other choice. But marketing yourself is very very important for the artist, to be an artist because you also there's again if you're a very good artist, gallery definitely look for you if your artwork is very good. So if you want to be seen in the art scene, first you have to be different from others. Like what others like you can't do something like same of like 20-30 artists already doing in India or whatever. So you have to come out from that and show in art world that you are something unique and something special which nobody has been touched this subject and you are outstanding. That's where the gallery will be more interested and they'll be looking for you. But again, how do they know that you are doing something unique? That's where the question mark starts again. We have to be also known to the galleries first, right? Before that that we are doing something different. For that again we have to be tied up with again like we have to go to the market, where the international art fairs and do a solo project, and where the galleries will be there, 150, 100, 200 galleries will be there. That's where they'll we have to be as a solo. We can't put our works in with a group of like 2-3 works where we will be lost there. So once we are ready that we are with outstanding artworks and we are unique and we have something special style with us, and where we want to show to the art world, then we have in the art scene, and we have to be focus ourselves in a better way as a solo project, and that's where the gallery will contact us and approach us, and we have to be their market like that only.
Good. Now, you were talking about the camp, your friends, your close friends like Vishwam sir, etc. So what happens apart from talking about art? What happens in the camp after the work is done or the gallery display is done? What happens? How do you
Actually,
all of the friends
actually, I have to
enjoy?
tell this. Yeah, I have to tell this interesting story. Once, Snake Ladaji was organized one in Goa, actually, international camp, which I was been invited to be in that part of that camp actually. Snega was telling that no, I don't want to your painting. Why don't you do the sculpture? I said how to do sculpture in 2 days, because I'm coming for 2 days there, and it's very difficult to to concentrate on a subject on sculpture. And no, I'm getting some assistant for you from Jodhpur. He will be there with the clay, and we fixed all the clay, what type of quality. I don't know the quality also how it's going to be. No, don't worry about that. He's a professional person who knows about the sculpture. He will bring all the clay. You just come, like 2 days. And I reached there. Again, there's all our artists were there. With, like Veera Santanam is no more here, and Mr. Viswam and Mr. Manogaran and Mr. JK. All those artists were there, and they all were doing paintings, and they arranged for me all the setup, everything on that day. And I reached evening, if I'm not wrong, and the night, whole day, one night we started continuously, and Snega was also watching the entire program. So we built a skeleton there and started to work with the clay, and it was a larger than life size female figure which I started there. And that energy and that what you call that the completion was very which I didn't expect actually, that speed I can go to reach to complete the larger than life size figure. And I did it actually with the clay, and that was quite interesting. After that, and we sit and discuss. It was a lot of things to learn from those masters also. Which when we all the artists joined together after the camp session is over or completion, like a evening time, we sit and chat with and get share experience. And because those masters and senior artists, they have a lot of experience in that art field, which we'll talk each other and we'll get ideas. And also good to go with those camp and we join with other artists also to exchange our ideas and our concept, and share the some technical aspects. In fact, with the sculpture or whatever medium we're using, like get their ideas, because sometimes we ourselves we don't meet others, we think it's correct and we do the same mistake. It's a mistake which will be keep on doing ourselves. When we sit and discuss with them or watch the other artists or other masters doing, then they may be using the same technique which we thought it's right. In other way, it's very simple, and the way of drying, for example, simple technique like fast drying in oil paintings. So we may get something ready-made things we read in internet and find add this oil and we'll mix it and it will fast get dry faster like that. But practically and experientially, that which we won't be able to learn anywhere else. Only that practically the person, the seniority or an experienced person can share. Which those ideas all, like for example, I'm telling those ideas all comes when we are with us with a group of artists and share with the experienced artists and get their ideas and opinions. Good always.
So no fun. It's all about challenging each other, learning from each other.
No. Fun is there. It's up to artists how much they are want to be. For example, when we artists are there, which we go for other international camp also. So after that, always there is an what you call music, dance, drinking, all those things. It's up to artists how much they want to be part of that, or whether not. I know some artists are like they after that they'll just go with their own thought. They'll take Facebook or search in the messages or something like that. Some they won't like to be in part of loud music. Some they like to be part of a drinking section. It's all like it's nothing like it's very free. It's up to
Individual
each and
choices.
every artist who want to be, how they want to be enjoying that. But always is there.
Okay, tell me, Mr. Gnana, don't you feel, I would say, jealous or insecure or competitive, because all of you in a camp are artists. Okay, nowadays, if I have a Facebook, I'm an artist, I have a Facebook. I say one of my friend is creating a Facebook, another page, who and starts doing becoming an artist, and starts paying. I feel very jealous. I mean, this has become a very common thing nowadays with everybody. So, with the seniority you have, I'm sure each one of you have your own style. Don't you feel jealous or competitive when you're all together, in a camp?
Yeah, actually, more than jealous, actually, there must be healthy jealous. Actually, I have to say, not to be like jealous in other way that he's doing, like he can finish it faster, but my style I can take only 1 day to complete, but he can do in 1 hour. It's we can't think like that. But there is something like where we should have an artist, we should always think that I must be better than him or her. Now, whenever we do the camp, that always that what you call that feeling must be there within a sectional artist. To say like for example, when myself and Mr. Viswam is there in the camp, so when I take a big huge canvas, immediately he will also have inside by big canvas, but indirectly we'll have that, no, like yeah, I'm also coming,
Competition,
we'll see who like that, but we won't say, but it is a healthy thing, like, but we have
healthy
that,
competition.
feelings that okay, how fast he's going to finish, whether I'm going to take a long time or he's going to finish. It will be there always, which I think we need as an artist, we should have. But we should be like not to be as an like follow the same, but we have to be somehow. I like to be different. As an artist, everybody must be different from each other. So whatever they do, whether in the music or dance or painting or a sculpture, whatever.
They
So
do
we have to
something
be
different.
somewhere outstanding than others. That way I have to think always. Even when I visit the art fairs, after setting up my booth, Sneha also must know, she was in Singapore. So when we set up all the the fairs and hanging all our artworks, I used to go one round to see what's happening. The entire booth, like maybe 100 booth or 80 booths, whatever. I used to go complete to go each booth, and I sometimes when I pass by, certain piece only will hold me to stand for a while. So I'll be going just I don't go enter one booth like that. It's just passing by. Somewhere something will stop me, and that will be disturbed the whole day for me. Like that's where that type of no, sometimes that will be disturbing me because which I didn't expect that piece to be there, or something will be better than mine what I'm doing. That we have to be affected with all those things. We can't say always I am good, actually I can do better than those artists or anything, but always we have to see what's happening in the art scene, what is happening in the art world, right? So when we go that type of holdness, something is holding me, I really appreciate that artist, and that's where I go near and check who is the artist and from which country, what he does, how he does, like that. So we all must have something like that, go around, see what's happening in the art scene, and also no need to be jealous, actually. We have to be see that somebody is doing better than thing, then I have to come back and see next year how better I can be from that artist, in whether in the size wise, or like in the medium, or in the the color or whatever he used. I have to see, I have to, that will affect me. The disturb means I can't sleep is because I must think that I have to be something better than him or her in my in the field what I'm doing. So that way we have to always, we have to go ahead, and no need to be jealous in that way, and we have to be see in healthy.
Yeah, in sales, like we were talking about, as Mr. Prem Singh asked, two different fields. In sales, when it comes to artists, and we have a lot of audience who are artists right now who are watching this particular show. Do you suggest people should talk bad about somebody else's art just because they have to push, their art to the customer, saying that my art is good, that painting will not last long, or that is just a copy? Do you recommend this negative talk about the other artist or his work because you want to push your art?
Uh, Good question, actually. So actually, we know collectors. They know we no need to even whatever you push or whatever is sell, we are telling to the collectors, right? This artist is like finished very fast or not unfinished, like that or something like that. But the buyers, the collectors, they're also an artist themselves. In a way, they know which how many times they would have been this artist been would have put for to create this, how texture, how thick the colors. Everything is they know. They do the research actually because they're not first time buyers. I'm talking about serious art collectors. So there are two type of collectors. One, they come for art first. They don't ask who is the artist. They like it, they buy. They don't know. They don't want to know about artists also. They don't ask even certificate or authenticity certificate or whatever, because they want to match the sofa, the interior design. They like it. They have the budget. They go for that and they go, they buy it. That's it. There are the another art collectors, very important art collectors, which we have to be, we have to target those type of collectors. They come and study the artist, They first year they follow the artist, how serious he is, whether he is changing his style or he is going with the same series of what he did last year. They would have been come, for example, like 2019, they would have been visited the fair. They were observing the artist first, what they don't buy immediately. They want to see how artist is, going in this art scene, whether he is still continuously working or doing creating artworks, all the things. 2020 they come back and see the same artist, what is the development, how is the journey, everything. Seriously they will watch all those things. That's where then they started to collect actually. And those collectors, we don't need to tell even, like they want to ask, they will ask, like where is the artist from, that type of things. Technical part they don't like to even they don't ask the galleries to explain also, because they themselves know already what is what's a good or bad. I like to share this small example. When you ask this question, I want to share this experience which I had previously. So once we did an art fair in Malaysia. There was a few artists we have been joined together and went to Malaysia to do an art fair. There was a beginner artist also included in that, together with the mixed of artists group actually. And actually that each artist were submitting 2 artworks to display there. And when we all displaying the artworks, some of the participant artists in that group, same group, and they were asking me, sir, why you add this artist? This next to us, you're putting next to us artworks. It seems to be, not that what you call like a strength or a balance or whatever they feel in negative way they were saying actually. It's a program, so we today, for example, this evening is a VIP night. They were asking the day when we displayed, the same day was a VIP night. And program started. VIP all were inside the booth, the art fair. When they were passing by, the first piece to sell was the amateur work. They said it's not good. That's the work was being sold in the booth, the very first piece. And everybody was shocked to know. Because collectors, sometimes we don't know what they like also, right? Maybe we think that it's not standard or up to standard or whatever. But in art fair, it's not an exhibition. Exhibition is totally different in a gallery. But in the art fair, for each and every piece, there is someone to buy. There are someone to be, to choose that work. Actually, we don't know which work will sell first or which will be, won't sell, or we can't judge like that. They come, they have with a certain budget. They may have certain ideas. They like it, they'll buy. They don't. That's what I was telling. They don't ask even who is the artist. They like it, they buy. That's it.
So, thank you for answering that. So we have some more questions coming in from the audience. So. Yeah, there are a lot of compliments in terms of when we displayed the artwork. Beautiful work, sir, from Sunita Agarwal. Manpreet says it's wonderful. Kranti KN says it's excellent, sir.
Thank you, everybody.
Okay. Renu Shukla says there is so much of depth and emotion in all your paintings, sir. That's the thing.
Thank you.
And sir, this is from Renu Shukla. Sir, may we know your upcoming plans for the next 5 years? Renu Shukla is asking this particular.
I don't plan for long actually, but we used to plan for a 2 years project usually for in a gallery. Again, 2-year plan is basically more on art fairs. We just go 6 or 7 countries, starting from Singapore, then Malaysia, Hong Kong, Dubai. India, like 5 or 6 countries. That will be planned for 2 years ahead. Apart from that, in gallery, we used to have a 1-year project plan, like 3 months once, or group shows and solo exhibitions like that. For currently, now the big project is for Maestro Ilayaraja from South India. He's a well-known music director. We are planning a big project with him. Apart from the music, he's also a well-known. His hobby is taking photos.
Oh,
And
okay. I didn't know that. So,
yeah, he
surprised.
does a lot of photographs, and last 40 years his photos all we have, and Vidya is curating that show soon. So that will be the major project which we are planning. And apart from that, again, if it's COVID, everything is over, then I'll be back to my studio in South India, and also in Delhi, both places where I have a studio. So I'll be creating more on life-size sculptures, recycled materials. So that will be my own project. Apart from that, the artists were planning some shows after the COVID-19.
I know Indian art is pretty famous across the world, but how was it selling in Singapore? You're representing Indian art in Singapore for India. So how was the feeling? And you feel there's a good traction for it out there?
Yeah, of course, Singapore market is very good. That's why in Asia, a lot of countries focusing on Singapore to be an art hub, and a lot of auction houses there. International art fairs are coming back to Singapore, and collector-wise, a lot of good collectors, and also nearby countries, Malaysia and Indonesia. So a lot of collectors come over here to collect in auctions, to buy the artworks. Singapore market is very good, and we also promoting Indian art for past 20 years now, and we have our own clientele. And whenever we do shows, and a lot of our regular clients and become as friends also, they support always, and they buy Indian art. And overall, Indian art in Singapore is good.
Super. Who's your main inspiration?
Inspiration is within me actually. No, and also nature. No, nature is my main inspiration actually. I get from ideas, everything in nature, because everything is there in nature actually. Even like in my paintings, I used to do a lot of textures, which I said just now. I'm mentioning you about my using lot of textures. I get inspired from nature only. No, I see a lot of the old walls, and the water dripping there, and those type of dripping techniques. All I got it from there only actually. Whenever I pass by, I used to suddenly stop and take my phone and take photos. That ideas comes from nature only actually. But again, I don't want to be imitate immediately like what I see, right? So that's where the challenging comes out. So when I get inspired from, for example, those like textures by road, even the water in the sagging water, or mud in the floor or whatever. So that type of textures I like to inspire, and not create those things in my painting. But again, I don't want to follow the same thing. When that's the reason. But I want to like do a lot of, like, in a way you can say like a laboratory, like do experiment and see which, because we have to see practically also when we want to send the artworks in the roll format, whether the heavy texture will be, it will be withstand the residency of that the cracking will it will come when you roll, or you have to send as it is. We have to see all these things. We can't just anyhow only put our thoughts in a painting, because we have to also see in other possibilities also, like when the collectors buy, how heavy can they hang in their wall, and also the size matter. A lot of things I have to see. But again, the inspiration comes from nature. But the totally what I see, I don't want to be implement everything there. I have to see somewhere what to do, and what not to do, all those things.
Yeah. Your art also talks about relationship, family, and there's a man-woman relationship. There's absolutely no nudity or vulgarity in your art, but you present it in a this particular bonding, a family bonding, in a very subtle way. So you know, what is your theory behind presenting a relationship that way?
Relationship is very important actually, like bonding relationship, family, husband, wife, lovers. That bonding is nowadays is slowly it's missing, like with a busy life. So I try to, as an artist, I'm trying to bring those back through my painting to show to viewers that the bonding and closeness. That's why if you see my paintings, most of the paintings are like tilted head like this, yearning for love, affection, closeness. and even the gesture, if you see like that comfortable, like very something they're expecting each other, they need each other, right? That type of closeness and feelings I try to express through my art, which are nowadays is with the busy life is not that much actively like we see in the daily life. And if you notice my painting also, I don't give a very direct eye contact in my paintings, in my portrait which I do. I try to minimalize the lines and not more details also. So closing eye once again is when viewers see the paintings. If you open the eye like each other, we see that what you call that the message has been directly like is there. I don't want to give the direct message to the viewers. Let viewers be in part of my painting, engage. I want to engage them, hold them. Though my painting, if you see, simple line only, but the emotion is hold there. No, I hold the emotion in that painting is actually. The same way, I don't want to give direct eye contact to the viewers also. Let viewers be in part of my painting and let them wonder whether it's happy or sad. Let them decide. I want them to be part of my painting, and I want to invite them to be, to hold and stand there and let them wonder what I'm trying to. That's why I don't want to give direct meaning also sometimes, in my paintings, and I want viewers to be engaged in my part of my paintings and share their experience. And I like to whenever in the art fair, sometimes even the gallery when I'm there, I don't tell when they visiting the when visiting our gallery, I don't tell it's my painting. No, usually I just want to know what's their expression. If I say it's my painting, definitely they'll tell it's a nice, very nice, good, all the things.
They'll be very nice in front of
So I want to know the feedback actually, the real feedback. That's the reason I don't share that immediately. I'm the artist for this work. When they come, also I want to ask them, how do you feel? What do you see in this painting? Some genuinely they tell, no, it's very sad for me. I see it's very sad. Oh, okay. That type of feedback I want actually. And same. Collectors after a few years they'll come and see something is telling that they're expecting, they're yearning for something, or they're eagerly waiting for something. Then that meaning slowly changes when they're part of that artworks, and they are engaged there and see daily, and it gives different meaning. That's the reason, one of the reason also I don't put the eye contact and finish that meaning. That's it. I want to keep it close.
Yeah, so that don't want to make it obvious.
Let be them and give different meanings and different opinion. I'm happy to know that actually, in fact.
Sure. So you're basically putting a seed.
Client from Australia, she was in a gallery. I got this experience actually. She was standing out in the window display. There was a painting in the window display, and she was waiting outside. And I asked my manager to invite her inside. No, why is she standing long there for few more minutes? She was standing there. Was seeing that. No, she came and she said she's crying. Why? No, we just bring him her. You want water, anything? Have a seat like that. And I was asking her what happened. Why? No? That's what she's from Australia, but she connected my painting that I never visited that place that time, and she telling she got memory of something of her childhood memories. And there was a baby cloth was hanging, and the mother was sitting there. So something painting was similar like mother concept, and she can connect that one, and she was somehow it's affected her, right? Some feeling somewhere, something is affected that. Like that 2-3 incident I can say the collectors were I touched their heart in some way, something like that. The emotional was there. So more than my painting selling, I like this type of like somehow I'm connecting that I'm giving that emotional feelings to the viewers. That's very important, and I felt very happy, even though I sold a higher price that painting, but that was not my the happiness was that I can connect with someone.
Yeah, these testimonials, these experiences actually make a lot of difference than the value that comes. So we have some more questions. Thank you, Sunita Agarwal. She is giving a compliment saying that most honest interview.
Thank you, Sunita.
Yeah, we have Gnaneshan Prabhaharan. He says, sir, thank you for sharing the lovely experience. Sir, what's your message or personal guidance for emerging artists in terms of selecting the subject and thought process in bringing them visually?
Selecting process, you actually as an like beginners, you be genuine to don't worry about what sells. You don't follow the market, whatever the artists are selling, then immediately we try to do those type of style. To be, what, that's why I said, whatever you do, whether you're photographer, musicians, or, a dancer, whatever you do something nobody else can do, that, something different actually. So you have to be, first of all, you don't go to the art material shop to buy the canvas and the art material shop, I have to say personally. So you want to be something different, you go to the hardware shop, try something like, like a normal, like what you get in the hardwares, like paints and different brush. Even you don't have brush, try to get some sponge and something. You have to experiment differently, then only you can be different than others what they do usually. Once we decided, like, oh, this person is selling, no, why don't you do that type of subject, maybe, usage of the color or a subject. So you may be, that time you will be interested for you to go, but halfway then you go, you'll stuck there, then you'll come back, then again you will follow the other artists, you'll go and you'll come back, but you won't be happy also, no. Basically, you should be, as an artist, you should be very happy of what you're creating, whether it's, you're doing, you do for yourself first. Don't worry about the collectors definitely, if it's genuine, you keep your name clean, do your artwork very, like, happily, and, the subject what you like, automatically everything will follow you, and, the gallery will be looking for you. As I said, something you have to be different than others. We can't, that's the one of the reason I said don't go for the art material shop first, if you want to be different. That's what I know, like, few artists in India also, no, they have this type of things. They don't get materials from art shop, they go for hardwares. Even the brushes, colors, and paint, experiment yourself, do a lot of experiment, and do something different. Even canvas, don't worry about canvas, do plywood and do the metal aluminum sheet, and how to create the textures, tones. No need to be like, make it very simple. If you follow somebody, it will be really, it will be, won't be enjoying, you'll be stressed. Actually, art is more to be, to lesser your stress level, actually, not to be increase your stress, right? So to do that, you have to enjoy first, what you're doing. So it can be any subject, whatever. It can be figurative or with any medium, acrylic, oil, it can be abstract acrylic oil, or it can be mixed media. For example, I like to do a lot of mixed media, right? So if you notice that my sculptures also, though the subject is bronze, for example, Krishna sitting in the cow, I don't leave it as that is only, that is for me only a subject. That is not a complete artwork for me. So apart from that, I'll try to add what are the things like mixed media, like using bricks, or like, like wood. And based on that, I used to do like recycled materials, whatever I found medium, like rusty things. So the works continue again and again. It's not like, though for me, some artists maybe Krishna and cow finished ready subject, bronze, that's it. Krishna can keep a title like Krishna and the cow, like that. But I'm looking beyond that subject actually, what to be adding. So that's where like uniqueness comes, right? Different from others. The subject's not finished with Krishna and cow. When I'm going to add with just now we are telling about cosmic piece, which we'll be talking later also. So those cosmic pieces also, I'm taking something from the what I see in the earth, but visually I'm giving visual impact like universal, no? Something is more what imagination, like giving spirituality by adding certain materials and different different visual impact actually to know those sculptures. I'm not stopping with what like exactly like a subject of Krishna and cow. So that's where like different we have to see. That's what you are asking, right? That whatever we do, as I said, like nobody should do better than you. That's the simple concept.
So do you want to stress a bit more about the Cosmic series?
Cosmic series is again like as I just now mentioned to you about that, no, like I started with painting 2D and with the cow. I started with the monochrome actually. Monochrome means like two colors with very light tones, very soft tones, like using soft brush to create like smooth feelings. When you touch the canvas, it's no texture. Only the canvas texture will be there. Otherwise, the painting is very smooth. So slowly, then I moved to colorful. Then colorful, adding with more colors, bright colors. Then what to do next? The journey, because I want the journey of don't want to stop with only one series, right? I was keep moving. And next was more color, what to do. Then I was thinking about adding fabrics. Fabrics means a lot of bright colors of fabrics, cut and paste. Then heavy texture in that same subject. The subject is cow only, but I'm using the subject cow and experiment different mediums, and to go with the different level of the process to show. Because how long will be like 15 years with the same cow subject, I know I have to know I have to challenge myself, but I didn't move out with my subject actually. The relationship theme with cow and human beings with the nature was there, always there. But the usage of the techniques was more, the colors all I want to show difference, right? So fabric, then again fabric what to do, and that something like 2D was trying to do like a sculptural effect in the painting self projection, like heavy textures, all those things. After that, what to do again? That's where I come back to sculpture. From 2D, I move to 3D. Same subject, cow. So in cow, I want to see all the angles. All the angles. In the painting, you can't see the only the like flat surface, right? In the 3D only, we can see all the angles. So then I started do cow in bronze. By again doing that bronze, I want to go further development. That's where cosmic piece started in my mind. No? It was I was thinking how to add in more materials, which is my engineering. It was helped me a lot actually because of the materials, right? Those things, welding, all the things. I started to mix media by adding wood, like wood with bronze, concrete with the bronze, base with different like found medias and car parts and like even sometimes I go and buy some fresh materials and add in, make it that is in that fresh material into like a old look. All this thing changes and try to combine together. And I used a lot of computer parts to give the depth. If you see the computer parts is spray, and it gives the to and fro depth there, in and out, all those things. So I add in those computer parts also in the bronze, and I created like the cosmic piece, which is something very universal, which can't see, I can't relate it to it actually, So something like illusion things there but not there, but subject is there. But if you notice, my subject Krishna and cow will be there, but behind surrounding all those things are illusion things, like cosmics, like something very universal, look I want to create it, and that's what that series has been created actually. After that, then again I want to show in the sculpture more colorful. Then that's where again I went to the recycled materials. So recycled materials of more on like car parts, two-wheeler parts, because already the paint is there, like quality paint. For example, in the cars they would have been sprayed with good quality paints, and I take those type of engines and car parts, windows and everything, and for example that bumpers and also that Hero Honda tank. All those things I combined together and made more colorful. You would have seen there larger than life size cow with more colorful things. So again, because I want to keep changing and moving on my journey. That's where all this happened. When I think what would next, then it automatically the materials comes based on my thoughts. And again, when I said like pick up the materials for certain reason, and in the studio it change for other reasons also. So if you fixed yourself and planned everything, this is what I want to do. I feel there's no enjoyment as a creator. As a creator, you want to have that. Don't fix yourself. Don't fix yourself when you want to do something and enjoy in your field whatever you want to create. So leave it at the moment and go with the process and enjoy in that moment. And the process you have to enjoy, not the what is outcome.
Superb, sir. Thanks a lot. When we have compliments also, Sandhya Vadvani, she is basically complimenting that you are, her mentor. Feeling so great
Thank you,
seeing you live. So the last question from my side is if one of your paintings go viral, okay, so it's a hit. One of your paintings, maybe with the Krishna and the cow behind, goes viral, and a lot of people, like women, use it for maggam in their blouses and on their saris, on the curtains, and all that. Would you feel happy about that it's gone viral and people are using to wear it and using it commonly, or would you start thinking of copyright? How can somebody use it without my permission? So what will Mr. Gyana do with such situation?
Uh, actually, before going to your answering to your question, also I have this experience in my own, because I used to teach art, right? So when I teach art, I can't go beyond my style. When I'm teaching also, right? It will somehow, even though I'm trying to stop my technique or my style, when I teach it, automatically it appears to my when I'm teaching actually. So those type of style also some of my students to adopt because they want to practice. They will take that type of style and they want to do it right. and they create similar concept of how my head tilted or the closed eyes. So when they display or they share in the social media or anything, immediately the some of the friends or somebody will comment also. No, it looks like Jnana's works like that. So in a way, for the artists, for the beginners, it's okay to copy your masters or your mentor or whoever you think it's good, but you have to come out from that zone actually. Like once for practice is okay for so for learning purpose. Then after that you have to search for yourself. What who you are and what you like and anything like the same way. But coming back to your question, so I'll be happy only, like if they use my style and see for the project or anything like for their own creations, they're adapting my subject or the colors or what my style. I'm okay with that. I'm happy.
So thanks a lot
No
for
copyrights. No copyrights. They can
no
enjoy.
you wouldn't think of that. Yeah, because I see a lot of art, which are like converted. Very senior artists later, their style is converted. A lot of ladies try to wear it, and the
Yeah.
artists who do a common Maggam work, who are across the street in smaller towns and all that, they're so passionate about this work because they will go ahead and stitch it. Whatever painting, they would actually take like hours together and stitch it on the
Yeah.
fabric. So yeah, and I was thinking, does copyright apply, and what does the original artist think
No,
about
copyright is there actually. Artist, copyright is there. But it's certain reason, right? Like for example, the photograph, somebody's photograph, they use that one to create a painting as it is. Then we have to at least tell the artist, right, that I'm inspired by your photograph. I'm using this for my painting. If the artist agrees, okay. If no, sometimes it happens. Copyright is definitely there. We have to mindful on that. We can't anyhow take somebody's style and do for certain things. But unless if artist is okay with that and he don't mind, it's fine. If some artists they don't like that, no, that which their creation or what they created to be used for certain purpose, which they think it's not good for market, like for the
yeah,
artist growth or
misusing the
whatever,
mark
then
for
they have to
marketing.
respect their feeling also.
Yeah. So thanks a lot for taking time out, sir. I mean, I would say didn't even realize the time, and I think the audience are also enjoyed this particular show. Good feedback. Kranti, thanks a lot for saying that it's a real open talk with true heart. I think that's the conversation we were trying to have here. And yeah, Nirakar Chaudhary is saying very true and honest answer. I think he's referring to the last question which I've asked. But thanks a lot for joining in from Singapore, taking time out for this, and giving responses in a very detailed way, very well composed. I think your state of mind basically gives us such a ease to have this conversation with you with no stress. It is an open conversation. I'm sure all of your students who are learning from you have a similar experience, because that's very important. The journey is very important than the end result. So I really love this
Our,
conversation, and
yeah, our conversation is the same like my painting. No, it's happened then and there, not pre-planned. That's why.
yeah.
And also, I like to thank Mr. Ravi and also Snegaji for giving this wonderful opportunity, and also all the participants and giving like a positive feedback. And thank you once again, everybody.
Thanks a lot, sir, and thank you for Sneha Arts for providing a chance for me to speak to eminent artists across the world, and doing this particular art talk. So, friends, whoever is watching this, do follow this art talk. We plan to do a week, once in a week or twice in a week, and bring upcoming eminent artists on this particular show. Again, this is more to for knowledge sharing, more to learn from other artists, as Mr. Gnana also mentioned. It, competition is good, but there are a lot of learnings which you can do from other artists, and never get into confidence that you're best, and the learning has stopped. So that's the whole purpose of this particular art talk, that we learn from every experience, every talk, and the conversations here. So thanks a lot, audience. Thank you, sir. Have a great day, and someday we will definitely meet up. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you.